This is the Louie T Network.
See, first come the preseason, and I don't take a day off. And then my team was 6-10, and we ain't smell the playoffs. Yeah, I seen the Super Bowl, but I heard they just play balls. A lot of teams had injuries. Sam Bradford had to take off. Go hard in the offseason, but you don't know the half. Before you know, we gon' look up, and we ready for the draft. They dressed up in that suit tie, and I don't know how to act. They waiting, so patient, so they can put on that hat. Who else could it be? But your man Luke. Okay, so when she asks you where you at, you tell her you in the lab room. Who else could it be? But your man Luke. Okay, so when she asks where you was at, you can tell her you was in the lab room. Yeah.
Who else could it be? For me, Jordan. Louie T, welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Two-pack coming your way. Look, I promised you a two-pack, okay? And just like my Memphis Grizzlies, I don't bluff, okay? So, I told you I was gonna bring you a two-pack. I'm gonna bring you a two-pack. Now, it's a little tardy, I will admit, okay? A lot of stuff going on, as you can imagine, so it's a little tardy. I apologize, but even though it's late, it's still gonna be great. Let's jump into the Sunday night game. Arizona Cardinals hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a huge matchup. A lot of people weren't talking about this game. You know, a lot of people were talking about the Packers and the Vikings, and rightfully so. Even the Bills and the Patriots. This game deserved more publicity because you're talking about two division leaders in arguably two of the tougher divisions in all of football, and you're talking about two of the better teams in the entire National Football League. So this game should have been hyped up a little bit more than it was, but nonetheless, I talked about the different storylines in this game. Hey, I want to see Arizona take this division by the horns, run away, okay? St. Louis doesn't want any part of it. We know San Francisco is going to be bad this year, and the Seattle Seahawks are struggling. They're looking for their identity. Marshawn Lynch is banged up. Go run away with this division. You had a huge win last week on Sunday Night Football on the road against a team that you needed to conquer, some demons you had to exercise, much like Carolina did earlier in the season versus those same Seahawks. You did the same exact thing last week. Build off of that. Don't have a letdown. Don't have an emotional drainage, essentially, and come out and allow Cincinnati to take it to you in your house on the big stage of Sunday Night Football. Go out and assert yourself and show why you're one of the best teams, not only in the NFC, but in the NFL. Meanwhile, if you're Cincinnati, this is a huge game, okay? Coming off that lackluster performance at home versus the Houston Texans for your first loss of the season, how are you going to bounce back? I was looking for mental toughness. I was looking for that in this game, okay? Even if you don't win, I wasn't expecting Cincinnati to go in here and win this game, but I was looking for the mental toughness. I was looking for the stones in this game. What you got here? What's beating here, okay? Andy Dalton came off a little soft after the game. He was emotional, okay? He was in his feelings after the game when J.J. Watt said what he said. I wanted him to put that aside, come out and ball in this game. And that's what he did. And so, there were a lot of things I was looking for. And I thought that the Cincinnati Bengals defense came out and acquitted themselves well early on in this game. Forced a couple of Carson Palmer errant throws and were able to generate some turnovers. You felt like they dominated the first half, and they should be up by more than 7 at halftime. And that's what let me know they're not going to win this game. And did I see a 21-point third quarter coming in a barrage? No, I didn't see that. And this is where I found out how mentally tough Cincinnati was, because they could have laid down when the Arizona Cardinals blazed them 21 straight points in that third quarter. They could have easily laid down. They were down 28-14. This game looked like it was about to be over, and they rose to the occasion. And they tied this ball game up at 31 in the waning moments. Looked like we were heading for overtime. Carson Palmer takes his team calmly right down the field. Huge game by J.J. Nelson. He showed up. Good to see the young fella get back on track. David Johnson with a touchdown catch. Carson Palmer was magnificent in this game, especially after the slow start. I thought he turned it up and showed why this team could have easily found themselves in the Super Bowl last year had he not gotten hurt. This is one of the better teams, these Arizona Cardinals, in the National Football League. Patrick Peterson goes down late in this ball game, and the Bengals took advantage of that. give some credit to Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals because, again, they were down 14 in the second half on the road. Crowd got into it. You could have easily crumbled under that pressure. They did not. Andy Dalton took his team down the field and got them to tie the football game, gave them a chance to take this game to overtime. The defense couldn't hold up. And look, give Cincinnati some credit because they were playing with literally no one in their secondary. They were the walking wounded in their secondary, and yet they still were able to keep this game relatively close and give themselves a chance. And so there are a number of dynamics in this game. Cincinnati showed me some things. In a loss, they showed me some things. This team is a lot more mentally tough than I was giving them credit for. They're winning me slowly but surely. They're winning me over because, again, I jumped off the Cincinnati bandwagon about 2 years ago, and I swore I would never return again. So they're slowly getting me to see the light, and I like what they're doing. There are a number of bad calls in this game. AJ Green damn near gets decapitated, no call. We don't know, we didn't have any audio of the simulating the snap by Domata Peko. So we don't really know all of it, but look, at the end of the day, Arizona drove it down the field. When they had to have it, they got it, and they were able to win the football game at 34-31. This was an exhilarating game, and I thought both teams played really well. There were some mishaps, but I was waiting for Andy Dalton to throw up all over himself, and he never did. He was sharp, especially in the late stages of the game, and he helped his team tie it up. And Giovanni Bernard, outstanding in this game. And I've said it all along, he needs to touch it more. And they got it to him in this football game, especially through the air, catching the football. He was dynamic in this football game. J.J. Nelson had a coming out party for the Arizona Cardinals. So, and I didn't know Michael Floyd wasn't going to play, so that was huge to have someone step up in his absence and produce. And he was the man to produce in this football game. Cardinals get it done, go to 8-2 on the season, and so do the Cincinnati Bengals after starting 8-0, 2 straight losses. But again, they played, look, the Texans game, they should have won that game. There's no excuses there, but this was a tough one. I didn't expect them to win. They came into Arizona and was ultra competitive, almost stole that football game. So that's not one you should be ashamed of if you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan. You all probably feel a little ripped off because you felt like there were some calls that didn't go your way in this game and could have really impacted the outcome, because if they call a false start on the Arizona Cardinals, the announcers were all jacked up because they were talking about pushing the field goal back. No, that's a 10-second runoff, my friend. Clock's running. That's overtime. So that's a huge call in the football game, but nonetheless, Arizona Cardinals get it done 34-31. You go to Monday Night Football, AFC East family business, New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Rex Ryan desperately trying to beat his nemesis in New England. We knew this wasn't going to happen. I thought if anybody had a chance, though, it would be the Bills, because I thought the Patriots were vulnerable. I looked at this team, I said, your offensive line is in shambles. You have no Julian Edelman. You have no Deion Lewis for the remainder of the season. This team looked vulnerable against the Giants the week prior. I expected much of the same, and I got much of the same. The Bills had opportunities in this game, okay? Bills had opportunities. Tyrod Taylor missed some open receivers down the field. I didn't think they got Samuel Watkins involved enough in this game. There were a number of opportunities for them to make some things happen. I thought the defense was all over Tom Brady. They were hitting him at will in this football game, as they should. And I thought Rex Ryan had the right idea. Come after him. That offensive line is horrible, okay? They're playing musical chairs. It's amazing what the Patriots are doing right now with the way their offensive line is constructed and having all of these injuries, moving guys around. One plays at left tackle, the next plays at left guard, the next plays at left tackle, the next plays at center. I mean, guys are all over the place, and they still manage to get it done. It is amazing what they're doing right now, because most teams, a lesser team, would have succumbed to these injuries, but the Patriots just keep chugging along. But give credit where credit is due. The Patriots have done some magnificent things with all these injuries, but the Bills had opportunities, okay? I'll give the Patriots credit for doing what they've done, because again, it's short of remarkable what they've done, but the Bills had opportunities in this game, and they let them slip through their fingers, and they'll regret this. And the officials had another bad night on a big stage game. It seems like Monday Night Football has been terrible for the officials this year, and there's no worse time to have officiating gaffes and blunders than on the biggest stage there is, Monday Night Football. Everybody's watching, all eyes on you, and they have the inadvertent whistle with the Danny Amendola play, where he's probably going to score a touchdown on that play if they don't blow the whistle. And then they double down on the mistake and say, oh no, well the inadvertent whistle happened after he caught the football. No, it happened when the ball was in the air. The ball should have been moved back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, it gave the Patriots a free 15, 16 yards. So there were a number of bad calls, of course. The Samuel Watkins play at the end. Bill should have had a chance to at least throw a Hail Mary. Instead, they said the game was over and that he didn't get out of bounds. Another bad call by the officials. They had a rough night, but when it's all said and done, the better team won. Patriots get it done 20-13, extend their undefeated streak now, and they continue to win at home. This is a really good football team, and they find ways to get it done. It was not pretty. Tom Brady was harassed all game long, but they got it done. Did the New England Patriots 20-13. They moved to 10-0, tying the Carolina Panthers for the best start to the 2015 season. So we'll see if they're able to keep up that pace next week as they go on the road to Denver, arguably their toughest game of the season. So we'll see if they're able to remain undefeated on the season. They get it done on Monday night. For the Bills, they've had opportunities this year. You should have beat Jacksonville over in London. You lose this football game, and you look around and you say you're 5-5, and you're finding ways to make sure that you don't make the postseason again. This was a game that you should have won, if you ask me. There were opportunities there to be had, and you simply didn't take full advantage of them. So Bills go down to the Patriots 13-20. They're now 5-5 on the season. And now they got a tough one. Now they got to go to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. They're red hot, and they're also 5-5. The loser of this game, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, not making the postseason. This is an elimination game in week number 12. If Kansas City wins this game, they're going to go to 6-5. The Bills are going to go 5-6, and I think their season is going to start heading south. So they've got to go win that football game now. They really put themselves in a tough bind, not getting it done on Monday night. That's your 2-pack. I told y'all to give it to you. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab. Continue to join me as I continue to break down anything. And National Football League. See you with my picks. There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie T, be sure to follow me on Twitter at @InTheLabRoom, or you can like the Facebook page at In the Lab Room. That's In the Lab Room on Facebook and at In the Lab Room on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.